Hi, my name is Anya Dalzon, and 11 years ago, I survived an earthquake. It was January 12th, 2010, and at the time I was 7 and still living in Port-au-Prince, Haiti with the rest of my family. My day had pretty much started like any other day. I had gone to school, and I had gone back to my mother's dance academy, which I went to almost every day. And I was in the back room studying and doing homework. And that's when the shaking started. Mom! Anya! Earthquake, run! So my mom and I were actually the last ones to leave the building, and thankfully no one was hurt and everyone was able to get out safely. The shaking only lasted about 30 seconds. By the time we got outside, it had already stopped. But during that time, cell phone towers were very badly damaged, so we had no internet, no cell service, we couldn't call, we couldn't send a message. You essentially had no contact with the outside world. So the only way we were really getting information about what was happening elsewhere were from the parents that were coming to pick up their kids. And as they were coming, they were giving us news. And they told us, Calibean supermarket fell. Hotel Montana is gone. The National Palace pancaked. There's one parent that I remember in particular who had come from one of the collapsed supermarkets, and she had walked from that building to the dance school to come pick up her kid. And from head to toe, she was all white. She was covered in dust, and she had badly injured her foot. So she had wrapped it in a grocery bag. And I think the walk was about 2 miles. And I remember her stumbling up the stairs with the most panicked look on her face. Eventually, the last kid was picked up and I was able to go home. And I remember going to my room and everything was a mess. We're on the floor. We're broken. For the first 2 days after the earthquake, we couldn't sleep inside the house because it was unstable. So we ended up pulling out a mattress and sleeping outside. And I remember I would wake up in the middle of the night because of the aftershocks. And my mom would sort of soothe me back to sleep. By the third day, we were sleeping in our car. And the next morning, my grandfather had come and he knocked on our window and he asked my parents if they wanted to send my siblings and I to the States. He told us that there was a bus leaving to the Dominican Republic where we could get on a flight, but that the bus was leaving in 30 minutes. So my mom rushed and packed a bag for my siblings and I, and I think she probably packed 3 outfits for each of us. And we left. So on our way to the bus station, my parents were driving and they told my siblings and I to lay down, cover our eyes, and no matter what, don't look outside. But I was a very stubborn child So I looked. And I couldn't recognize my home anymore. When I looked outside, I saw bodies lined up on the street. There was rubble everywhere, a lot of injured people, a lot of screaming. I think that was when I understood the gravity of the situation. And eventually I saw this woman who was on her knees, and she was holding her baby who I assumed had died during the earthquake. And she was swaying back and forth, screaming at the top of her lungs. It was definitely one of the most heartbreaking things I've ever seen. And I only saw her for a few seconds. She made a huge impact on me. I think it's just one of those situations where it sticks with you. To this day, when I think about the earthquake, I associate it with her. I think about her a lot. I don't think I'll ever forget her face.